Comic Crook family, we're back at it again. I'm here with my boy Keith, my brother, a.k.a. OG Nerdy Bones, a.k.a. Comic Crooks. What's going on, brother?
I'm just glad to be back in the studio. Like I said on the pre-video, we were trying to hook up with a buddy of ours, a crook that I call you guys the crooks.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we just got to get our technology a little bit more in order. You know what I mean? Like, got to be able to streamline shit to we're not sitting here for fucking 20 minutes. So like, did I click the right button?
Yeah, exactly.
So we decided to just go ahead and do a normal episode and sit here in front of the camera, sit here in front of the mics. And you said you had an idea for what we're going to talk about.
I did. So I was sitting there and I was watching the Rambo movies, right? And I said, man, this man, Sylvester Stallone, is an animal. Especially in this character as
John Rambo.
As John Rambo, right? And then I thought to myself, who would win, John Bertham's Punisher or Rambo?
See, we both want to go Punisher. So, but one of us has to play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
And I played devil's advocate last time.
I do. So today I'm taking Rambo. But in reality, this is the truth of it. I'm going to start it off like this. Rambo and John Bertham's Punisher, technically, as far as like fighting,
Well, they're almost the same person.
They're very, very similar. Yeah, exactly. The fight wouldn't be a 5-second fight. I can tell you that. Those guys would be giving each other hell on Earth.
Right. Well, one of my big things is it's kind of underlined and never really confirmed that Punisher has a healing factor. There's no way that he wouldn't.
Yeah.
There's no way that he wouldn't have a healing.
There's something. Yeah.
Sure. There's something special about him. But you got John Rambo. He was a Green Beret, which Frank Castle was a Green Beret as well. So I think what it would really come down to is why they were fighting, the battlefield.
I was gonna say the environment's everything, because I'm telling you, if it's in the Philippines, Rambo's gonna take out Punisher.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it was in New York, Punisher, that's his playground. So
the concrete jungle, Frank's got it all day.
Yeah.
But like John's a bigger guy. We'd have to think about like their training. I would imagine they would have a similar training.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Frank Castle was mostly in the Congo, shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's still a jungle and all that. But with Rambo, John Rambo, he's versed in a lot of fighting styles.
Yeah, for sure. And in different environments. He's pretty much was in Desert Storm at one point. He was in rainforest type environments. He was in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's pretty based in a lot of different environments. And like I said, going back to what we said, just New York has to be out of the picture because it wouldn't be a fair fight. It just wouldn't.
Well, both of them would be experts in what's called guerrilla warfare.
Yeah.
And both of them would be experts in that. So I would say we'd have to take Whistler out of the scenario.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just one-on-one.
Yeah.
Of course, I want to go Frank all day. But I also, to be fair, have to have counterpoints of okay, this and this and that. So John Rambo is just a bigger guy.
Rambo is, John
Rambo, he's just a bigger guy. You look at First Blood, and I forget where First Blood takes place, but he's improvising everything. He one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when he shoots the transformer off the telephone pole.
Yeah.
It's just improvisation, weapon know-how, hand-to-hand combat. I'm gonna say Frank's gonna be better hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah. So the real problem is Frank Castle's an animal, but he would have to get his hands on John first.
Yes, he would.
So the thing is, John is very he's very stealthy.
Well, there's no way that either one of them is going to out-marksman the other one.
Yeah, it's no, yeah. So we can kind of kick the weaponized stuff aside completely. Either or is going to make out on top when it comes to.
Well, see, you think again, I'm on the Frank Castle side, but you look at John Rambo, and he's a master of stealth, a master of hiding his body, becoming the environment.
For sure.
He's depending on where you go with Frank and his origin, depending on which war that he was in or which scenario he was in. John Rambo was in Vietnam, which was arguably one of the most brutal landscapes when it came to fighting.
Right.
So like, I got to give it, if we're going to go points lines, I got to give like the stealthiness and environmental know-how to John Rambo. For sure. I got to give that. But it's all coming down to hand, bro.
Yeah. So I guess we have to build a scenario, right? So So this would be a scenario I'm thinking about, and this is kind of just freestyle, so bear with me. I'm spitballing here. Okay. In this scenario, let's paint the picture like Castle and Rambo were in service together.
Okay, so they served
when
together.
His family was killed, he's going after everybody that was involved with that video, right?
Right.
Having to do with the Netflix sort of thing. The last person's Rambo, John Rambo, right? Now the government's telling Rambo that Castle has gone AWOL.
Ah, okay.
Right? And he was harming a whole bunch of people.
He's his target.
Yeah, exactly. He's harming a whole bunch of people. No one can stop him. We need you to save America again, right?
Against Frank Castle?
Yeah. So there you go. That's the scenario. Neither New York, neither the Philippines. We got to find a...
It would have to be mutual ground.
Yeah.
It'd be...
well, somewhere they both haven't been.
Right. Just think of any battleground, really. It could be...
You know what? Let's make it intense. So let's make it Alaska.
Alaska, okay.
Let's make it Alaska.
So that's frozen.
Brutal.
Frozen, white, cold.
Mm-hmm. Not a lot of places to hide.
Mm-hmm.
So neither can blend into their environment.
Right. So both of them are going to probably rely on stealth.
Right.
Try to sneak up on each other.
Right.
So, like, for me, when I go with Frank, we're not talking any weaponry.
No.
We already decided.
Neither or has no weapons.
Yeah, so this is hand-to-hand, maybe a knife apiece.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, say maybe one blade apiece. Of course, Rambo is going to have the K-bar.
Yep.
I would say that Frank will probably have a K-bar, too, just to make it comparable.
Yeah.
So the way I picture it in my head is like this tundra.
Yeah. Like massive wind blowing. The wind's brutal.
Yeah.
It's touching your face. It's giving you, it's
so
crazy.
hopefully John wouldn't go to his shirtless bandana look because he
yeah.
freezing
so obviously
his shit up.
he's coated up.
So the way I see it is who's going to spot the other one first.
Right.
So
logically, who would, and realistically, not only based off comics, and realistically,
it's I hate to say it was probably going to be Rambo.
I was just going to say, I think Rambo might be the first to spot.
Yeah, well, there's a reason it's called First Blood.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think Rambo would have the upper hand as far as knowing
where Frank is.
Yeah, before Frank knowing where he is.
But I think Frank would have more of a structured battle plan.
That's fair.
I think Frank would be like, okay, this dude's just as experienced as me, just as battle hardened as me.
Right.
So how do I go at him? It's like, so here's the thing is I'm doing the same thing I did last time. But I
just took Rambo.
Well, I think Rambo would be more set on more versed on setting traps.
I think so too. So I think definitely with Rambo, especially in the movies, he tends to try to take advantage of his environment.
He's guerrilla warfare.
He wants to figure out, okay, this is where I'm at. All right, so this is how I control my environment.
I'm gonna bring the fight to him.
Yeah, it's fucking him.
So I like I said before, same thing I did before. I pick somebody and I'm like, shit.
But also, I'm kind of gonna do the same thing with you. So season 2 of Punisher, there's that scene where he goes to the gym and he just goes fucking ballistic. I don't know if they're Russian or what they were, mobsters. And that was a brute strength
right.
thing. And those guys were way bigger than the Punisher.
Well, that's the thing is,
And
Frank,
he was just taking, like, and he would get hurt, and he's, he uses whatever's around him too. And yeah, I mean,
I would say Frank's more of a brawler.
Yeah.
If and you watch the Rambo movies, watch Punisher on Netflix, read Punisher. Punisher can take an amazing amount of punishment.
Yeah.
He just can. So I'm going to say, for this fight scenario, whether it's canon or not, Frank's got some sort of healing factor.
I guess that's fair.
There's no way that he has been able to do what he's done without taking on, some kind of being able to recover.
Right, yeah.
So then you go to John Rambo. John's got a lot of knowledge of, like, poisons, chemicals, guerrilla weapons, making his own bows and arrows.
Right.
Which I'm sure Frank knows, too.
Right, yeah. But this is the thing. Rambo is more tactical.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. Punisher can be tactical.
He's never had a whistler. Right.
But Punisher is more brutal. He's more rageful, like when he's fighting, right? And we notice, as in, like, I hate to bring this up, but Infinity War, right? First 10 minutes is Thanos versus Hulk, right? And this is the only reason why Thanos beat Hulk. Because Thanos is a more tactical fighter than Hulk.
Yep.
So when Hulk was just berserking, Thanos was just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
He's just getting every place, and that's why he fucked his ass up. So I think there could be a good chance of Rambo doing the same thing.
See, that's kind of what I'm getting at. I think Rambo. I again changed sides mid fucking because I grew up with Punisher. I also grew up with Rambo.
Yeah. Same here.
But as more we talk about this, I would say that John Rambo would be more the one to be like, I'm doing my best, like, interpretation of, like, when he's upset. He's got
that's Sylvester Stallone being upset. That's why we don't get paid for impressions.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
He's got the 50 caliber fucking. So so this brings the question of who's capable of more brutality. See,
that goes to Punisher.
Yeah, I would say so.
That goes to Punisher, though. So this is how I think the fight would play out, right? Rambo would spot Punisher. Initially, Punisher would get some good licks in.
I think Rambo
would beat the fuck out of him for the majority.
Well, Rambo would close the ground first.
And then I think that the ending would be Punisher just beating him brutally and probably just cracking open his skull with his bare hands.
Yeah, well,
I think that's just because it's just true.
Well, it'd be, if we're talking about these two motherfuckers, I think it would be knife on knife at the end.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it would be either one of them deflecting blows, going in for stabs, and parry here, stab there.
Yeah.
But this is one that I just can't put my finger on.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It'd be like, let's say fucking John Rambo sticks his fucking knife in Frank's leg, and then that brings Frank down to the ground, and then John tries to go on top of Frank, and then Frank's fucking ready with another knife. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's like I was saying a minute ago, like the brutality level would have to go to Frank.
Yeah. That's what I said. I think the ending of the fight would be Frank's. I think Rambo would beat his ass for a little bit, though. I don't want to say beat his ass. I think he would have the majority of licks in for a section of the fight. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that Punisher would just be sitting here, boom, 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 and that's it. No, like, I'm just saying I think Rambo would get his in quite a bit because he's an animal, too.
Well, Frank could bring in jiu-jitsu. Frank would bring in Aikido. Frank would bring in judo. But John Rambo is all about just they call it medcap. That's the Marine style of martial arts.
For sure,
So, but you guys out there, you've seen Rambo movies. You know, he's the epitome of action star. You know, like that's he's John fucking Rambo.
Yeah.
It's I wish you got. Well, I think a lot of you out there are '80s kids. You know,
sure. Yeah.
you know. So
John, some '80s and '90s kids.
You got John Rambo. Family. You got Rambo. You got Chuck Norris. You got Jean-Claude Van Damme. You got Bruce Willis. So it's kind of hard to put that out of your head that these guys will never lose.
Yeah, I mean, those like we had this conversation. I think on another whole episode. Those guys are American heroes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they don't do action movies like they used to.
No.
These 70s and 80s, like that was the era of action movies. You know. Like,
so I think as far as I'm concerned, I think we got as much as we could out of that. Like I said, I think in pitching, if you feel otherwise, I think essentially, if given the situation we put out there, it would be Rambo that catches John off guard.
Or John Rambo would catch
Rambo would catch Frank off guard. That doesn't mean that Frank isn't ready for war at all times, right? So they would get some good hits into each other and stuff like that.
Well, I want that to be a painted mental image in all the listeners' heads, like John Rambo and Frank Castle clashing in the snow.
Yeah, that'd be fucking nuts.
No gear other than one blade apiece.
Mm-hmm.
I think that. Well, I gave Frank another blade in the scenario.
Or just like an ice pick or something.
Yeah.
So obviously they would go at it. I think with Rambo's style, he would just try to immediately go for the knockout.
Oh yeah.
So he would probably try to just get him in a fucking haymaker or something, chokehold.
Well, the big thing with Rambo is he would hide in the snow and wait for Frank to come up on him.
Yeah.
And then pop out, to have like the ambush aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, Frank's gonna have that mindset already. Like, I'm walking down this wasteland of snow. I'm gonna be looking out for anything. Not that he knows that he's gonna be fighting somebody like John Rambo.
Yeah.
Not like.
Punisher really isn't known to underestimate his opponents either, though.
Right. Exactly.
So I think if he was, what's the word? Ignorant. If he was the ignorant iteration, then the fight's gonna go to Rambo. I'm just putting it that way.
Yeah.
But he isn't ignorant. He doesn't go into any fight thinking that he's gonna completely win.
Right.
He just knows that he's gonna try to do his best to kill you. That's about it. And he has that goal, and So
I think we gotta give it to the Punisher.
I'm giving it to the Punisher. Obviously, this guy has faced people of mutant abilities, Inhumans,
Wolverine on the regular,
super soldiers. Rambo is not that. He is not even a super soldier.
As much as this 80s kid.
Don't get me wrong. I love Rambo.
As much as this 80s kid wants to say that John Rambo would come out on top of Frank Castle, that's scenario driven.
Yeah.
It's scenario driven, So we didn't even talk about like why maybe they would be in the Arctic or anything, but
I just kind of picked the location.
Yes, I still gotta go Frank. I still gotta go.
I'm agreeing with you, man. I'm going Frank. Essentially because Frank is very resourceful as well.
Yeah.
Rambo's very resourceful as well, but you got to think about the kind of people that they already faced in the past, right? If you say that Rambo can beat my boy Castle, you're also saying that he can be Captain America. And that's bullshit.
That's not happening.
Cap puts that shield down, he will fuck up Rambo. Like with his bare hands, he can rip his fucking heart out his chest.
He could hand John Rambo the shield and be like, here.
Yeah. You do your best. Literally.
And that's
the reason I brought Cap up is because Frank has fought Cap.
Yeah.
And he has adapted to the fighting styles, and he's been able to be compatible hand-to-hand combat.
Well, in my opinion,
and he's a super soldier.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, in the Marvel universe, Cap has got the most respectable hand-to-hand. Period.
One of them for sure.
Well, I agree. Like maybe Lady Shiva, Wait, no, that's DC.
Yeah,
Oh,
I would say, yeah,
that's
man.
DC.
Come on, bro. Don't do that to me.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. I would say
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi for sure is the master of kung fu in general.
Maybe Danny Irons.
I was getting Iron Fist. There's quite a good amount of characters that have good combat skills, but I would definitely hand it over to. I think this one goes to my boy Castle.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of some other of like the great hand-to-hand practitioners in Marvel. You got Logan.
Logan's more brute force. He's more.
But he's
not tactical, but he
still knows his shit. He was a samurai.
For sure.
Yeah, he knows his shit. And then
Daredevil,
Double D, hero of mine.
Yes, sir.
He's
Black Panther.
Black Panther, yes.
I mean, Black Panther can wipe out more than half of them guys. There's even I don't know if people have seen the Avengers, Ultimate Avengers cartoon. Movie.
Yes.
Like when they first introduced Black Panther, he literally takes on every Avenger
he
once.
He sneaks into the Avengers Tower. Mm-hmm. And they're like, and the Cap's like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah. So he's disgusting. You can even put Hawkeye in there. I mean, his hand combat is animal.
Hawkeye, Black Widow is up there.
For sure. There's a lot of really Hercules.
Yes.
Ares. Gladiator. What's his name? The Gladiator. What's his name?
The Gladiator.
Yeah, the Gladiator.
The Gladiator. That's
he has the mohawk.
And he's comparable to Superman.
He's he's OP.
He's comparable. To
Sentry.
So when I think hand to hand, I think street level guys. Like
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage. Yeah, I was just about to say Luke Cage. Luke Cage. Iron Fist. We already said.
Winter Soldier.
You know who is slept on when it comes to hand-to-hand combat is fucking Scott Summers, the Cyclops.
Oh, yeah, hands down.
Yeah, he slept Slept on.
Hell yeah. Everybody's like, he just does the beam thing.
Like, no,
bro.
dude.
He got hands.
Well, I have a couple books from the 80s where he's more or less going up against Cap.
Yeah.
And he outdoes Cap with his angular stuff because he bounces his beam off of stuff, and it rivals what Cap's able to do with bouncing his shield.
Yeah.
And, you can't sleep on Scott when it comes to
hell no, bro. Hell no.
Gambit even.
Yeah. Or Tigress.
Yes.
White Tigress.
Yeah, yes.
She's a crazy combatant.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Well, Spider-Man.
Taskmaster.
Well, Taskmaster.
I mean, Taskmaster's
all he's got to do is look at you.
It's a wrap.
Yeah. Literally, all he has to do is look at you move, and he's like, "Okay, I understand how you did that." Yeah. Sportsmaster. That's another one.
Yeah.
All the League of Assassins.
Okay, so that's more like DC, right?
Oh shit, I keep going to DC.
Yeah, that's DC.
That's just where my brain is, bro.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's just where my brain is.
Yeah, but those guys as well.
If you guys can think of any other
tons of people,
hand-to-hand combatants in just popular culture altogether, of course.
Let us know.
Of course, we got to say Power Rangers. We got to say,
Yeah.
And they got to say Power Rangers. Got to say
anybody in Street Fighters,
Mortal Kombat.
You know what I mean?
Let's one of the ones I wanted to do, but Superpower Beatdown already did it. Was Scorpion versus the White Ranger.
Yeah,
they already did that, but
that was hard for me to choose between the two because obviously I love White Ranger a little bit more just because
White Ranger is my dude. Tommy Oliver all day long.
R.I.P.
JDF.
Goat, man. That guy is one of my first live action heroes ever.
Same here.
Well,
for me it was Christopher Reeve.
That's Superman, yeah.
Yeah. And I was maybe 8 years old when Power Rangers hit the TV screen.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, what is this?
Yeah, it took about a storm, man.
Yeah.
Beetleborgs was crazy
Big bad Beetleborgs.
Yeah. So.
And then, do you remember VR Troopers?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
That was originally going to be a spin-off, not a spin-off, but JDF was going to be his show. And he just decided not to take it. He decided. Well,
it was a good move.
Well, he decided to stick with Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Because that was going to be his Sentai show.
Yeah.
And because I actually came across some of the test footage of JDF transforming into the VR Trooper thing, and he's
What did it look like?
it was sick as fuck.
Yeah.
It's sick as. But he decided to stay with Power Rangers, and he did it for 23 years.
I think he just knew that the fans loved him. I think he understood how much the fans loved him, and
Well, he was the coolest celebrity I ever met. Yeah.
I wish I had the honor to meet him.
I got to meet him 3 times.
Yeah.
And each time it was like I cried. I can't lie. I cried.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, dude.
You're like, you're the Green Ranger.
You're the coolest thing ever, man.
He's
35 years old.
He's the shit, man. I mean, I don't know what to say, man. He is absolutely just like the GOAT, man. And like, I think that was just like a complete like, whoa, what the fuck, Like he's just like he's the hero.
Yeah.
He was like my first hero, and I liked all the Rangers, but not like like Tommy.
Well,
Oliver. Tommy Oliver was the best one.
No 90s kid can forget the 5-episode arc where the Green Ranger just gave all the Power Rangers the business.
Word.
For 5 straight episodes.
Yeah, and he was so powerful that other multiverse versions of him couldn't even beat him.
Exactly.
Isn't that fucking nuts? Think about that. Like
yeah.
he's like, and he literally there's like a multiverse. So there's like I think his name is
Draken, Lord Draken.
Lord Draken, yeah. It's a multiversal version of him who's like a multiverse.
Well, he's absorbed. Basically, he absorbs other versions of himself.
So, yeah, I was gonna say. So he goes to the multiverse and literally just takes all the power from all the world, and still couldn't beat our main
Tommy Oliver.
Yeah,
dude. Like, so I realized we started this episode talking off about.
I just kind of thought about this.
So whatever though, like who. So when it came to Power Rangers, what was the first like time you saw it and like realized this is amazing?
The moment I saw it, man, and that was about when I was like, man, it sounds crazy, but I was like 3. It was like 3, but I remember it. It sounds nuts because
the original series hit the air in 1992.
Right.
So that makes me 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I remember watching. It was Fox Kids.
Yeah.
And it was. I remember this like.
Sabin.
I remember it was like yesterday. I was watching the X-Men cartoon on a Saturday morning. Yeah. It was coming up next, Power Rangers, and it was the opening first episode.
Yeah, so I wasn't around for that.
Yeah, and I'll never forget the first villain they fought was like this pig that had a Centurion type helmet, with a mohawk.
Yeah.
And so he ends up like eating the other Power Rangers, and Jason the Red Ranger like saves them all, and he hits them with a sword and it sparks and they go flying backwards.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, when you watch it as an adult, every episode's the same.
Fucking awesome, though.
Every episode's the same, just a different person. But like, it's still the greatest fucking show in history.
Yeah,
man. Dude, the Power Rangers was cool, man. You know what I mean? Not only were they just
Saban.
They were, man. They were, they're versatile as hell, right? Mm-hmm. So even if you were of a different nationality, one of the Rangers was your nationality.
Exactly.
If not, then you could see yourself within those heroes, right?
Right.
And then they were also teenage kids.
Mm-hmm.
They were supposed to be teenage kids that are given these sick ass abilities.
They're teenagers with
cool
attitude.
Fucking man.
Alpha, assemble a team of teenagers with attitude.
Yeah. With sick ass costumes, right?
Right.
Colorful, so you already know when you're a kid, it catches your eye.
Like, I like the red one. I like the blue one.
Yeah.
I'm the yellow one.
And then the Zords, man, that was like the first time. I was like, holy shit, this is nuts with the fucking robots. I mean, first of all, they knew what they were doing, right? Kids love like
colors, robots,
animals.
In the 90s,
dinos.
In the 90s, it was all about color-coded heroes.
For sure. Yes, absolutely.
That was just a thing. The Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Voltron.
Yep.
That's just off the top of my head.
Yeah, for sure.
These color-coded heroes, and like, oh, I like the orange one. I like the blue one. I like the red one. I remember for me when Power Rangers first hit the scene, I was all about Billy.
Okay.
Because he was a nerd like
me.
Yeah.
The Blue Ranger.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was a nerd, and his whole thing was tactics and being smart. But once he transformed, he could fight like a motherfucker.
Yeah, he could. He could beat some ass.
Billy was a badass. You know what I mean?
But what I liked about it is the first episode, the first 2 or 3, he can't fight that well.
Exactly.
Even with the suit.
Exactly.
Even with the suit, he can't fight that well. So it was almost like he was, and it was him fighting himself because he had to get confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
He had the trident. Mm-hmm. That, and that was, I remember in the first, piggybacking on what you just said, in the first few, he wasn't physically as adept as the rest of them. So he had to come up with devices. He had to come up with, he's their Donatello. He's their purple.
Well, and that also it touched on real life social things, right? Because the other Rangers were more socially acceptable. Think about it, right?
Exactly.
So the Black Ranger, he was a really cool dude.
Hip hop keto.
Hip hop dancing and shit. And then Kim was just
she was the hot valley
really
girl.
Pretty girl in high school that everybody loved, and
Jason was the cool guy.
Jason was really cool.
Yeah.
Yellow Ranger, she was super tight. Like everybody fucked with her. She was cool as shit. And it was actually Blue Ranger that was more of the outcast at first.
Yes.
Because he really didn't fit in those, like, it was almost like the Breakfast Club.
Well, he wasn't a martial artist.
You know what I mean? It was like a superhero Breakfast Club.
Yeah, well, I remember episodes where Jason was like, "Okay, Billy, we're gonna get you into my martial arts class, and we're gonna teach you." Yeah. And like, there's actually episodes where he's like competing with his white belt. Right. And they did all their, for some reason, they always did all their competitions in the juice bar, the Eddie's juice bar.
Yeah. And then Crusher and whatever his name is.
Bulk and Skull.
Yeah, Bulk and Skull. Yeah, Bulk and Skull. We're just like the comedy relief, but also like. I fucking love those fuckers, man.
They're still around. They actually over like the last 4 years actually became official Rangers.
That's tight.
Yeah, Bulk is the Orange Ranger. Yeah, I'm not even joking.
Tight.
Yeah, they got suits.
Shit, did they lose weight?
No.
That's fucking awesome. A fat Power Ranger?
Yeah. Like So Bulk is the Rhino and Skull is the Vulture.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, dude.
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I like that a lot. Shit.
So Bulk is orange and Skull is purple.
Nice.
Yeah, and they have their own suits, their own helmets, and
that's fucking hot.
Because where that came in was the episode was what they're piggybacking on the new one, the Once a Ranger, Always a Ranger.
Yeah.
The episode is when, long story short, everybody finds out who the Rangers are. Right. And so I forget, Scorpina is the villain at the time. And she comes in and she's like, "I'm looking for the Power Ranger." The silly way they used to talk, Mm-hmm. And Bulk steps forward and says, "I'm a Power Ranger." And then Skull steps forward and says, "I am a Power Ranger." It's the whole "I am Spartacus" thing.
Yeah.
I am a Power Ranger. I'm a Power Ranger.
Everyone's a Power Ranger.
Yeah. I realized the recording took like a left turn, but we're talking about.
Hey, no, is this still about combat, man? Yeah. Still about combat.
Still talking about what we love.
When Tommy Oliver came on the scene, right? So he it almost was like,
dude, his laugh. It's so good,
bro. When Tommy first came on the scene, it was like
gave him the business,
bro. Like I'm not explaining it. Like, so it's like watching Deadpool 2. And then the scene happens where the fucking Juggernaut rips open the thing, and he's like, "I'm gonna rip your legs off now." And he's like, "That's such a Juggernaut thing to say." And you're like, "Oh shit, it's the Juggernaut."
Well, what does he have that I don't have? Don't say legs.
It's when the movie it's like, "Oh shit, the Juggernaut," And that was how it was for me, man. It was like, "Oh shit, Tommy Oliver," and I was like, immediately, yeah, that's the Ranger I wanted to be. He was the fucking slick one.
Well, there's a reason he became the most popular one.
Yeah, for sure.
Just boom, just the most popular one.
For sure. He was fucking sick. And then when he became White Ranger, it was even tighter.
Dude. Oh. Then the Red Ranger.
And then, oh my God, I'm getting there. And then the movie Turbo Speed came out.
That's right.
And for me, that came out in 90-something.
97?
97, yeah. Watching that movie, brother, was like, yo. And then the craziest shit about it was that was the team that had the youngest Ranger ever in it.
Yeah, Blue. Yeah.
He was a kid.
Yeah.
And mind you, I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Younger than that, man.
And when he morphed, he was an adult,
Right. So I was like, holy shit. I was like, a kid can be a Power Ranger? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, that was epic as hell for me. And then I'm like, Tommy. And then when, like, it showed that it was Tommy Oliver, that just gonna turn into the Red Ranger. That was like, oh my god,
Because that was when they
with
were
the
all
lights
about
on
the
the
cars.
fucking from and
That's when they were all about the cars.
yeah,
you
and
know?
that shit was tight.
Yeah.
That shit was tight, man. Turbo Speed was tight. Mighty Morphin was tight. The one where it's like space something.
Space Force.
Space
no,
Force.
SPD. Space Department.
No, not that one, because that's the one where they have that dog. God
Yeah, that's
one.
right.
No,
That's right.
The one I'm talking about is the one where
Because there was Alien Force. There was dude. Well, every season's got a new name.
Yeah, because they had Dino Force. They had yeah, there's a few of them, bro.
Space Patrol or something like that.
Yeah, the ones I'm talking about had like the shapes on their shit.
Zeo.
Zeo was tight.
Yeah,
Zeo was tight. It was Zeo, Mighty Morphin, and then Turbo. That was my like top.
As Zeo came, Zeo is what followed Mighty Morphin.
Yeah, yeah. And then the other one that kind of was like, okay, I really like this one, is the one that came out. Yeah, so it's right here. I kind of had to look it up just to double check. So Zeo was really tight, but the other one I was talking about was Space. I think it's called
Space Force.
Space. I think it's just called Space. Power Rangers. Space. Hold on, I'll show you right now. For all my viewers out there, I just gotta double check because I remember them pretty well, man. They were fucking tight. So this is the one I was talking about. Yeah, cause Zeo was tight, Mighty Morphin was tight, but where the hell is it? Sorry about that. I'm trying to figure it out. Well, it was Space. It was Space something. It was Space something. It was
it's not because SPD is the one that we were talking about. That had
Galaxy. It might be Galaxy.
Galaxy. Power Rangers.
Rangers Galaxy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember the Alien Rangers, and then the Psycho Rangers, and then they did Wild Force. Did you ever watch Wild Force?
That's the one where the animal base, right?
Yeah. That one was fun.
Yeah, this one right here. Galaxy was crazy. Lost Galaxy. This is the Lost.
Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, right?
Fucking nuts. So you guys can see Lost Galaxy. You guys can't really see it.
If you hold up close to the glare, it'll go away. There you go.
Lost Galaxy. Amazing.
Power Rangers Lost Galaxy.
And this guy was tight. I thought he was super tight. That little gold, like, Night Ranger. I forget his name, but he was so tight.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So they had good. There's nothing like the Rangers, man. There's nothing like the Rangers.
Well, it's all Japanese Sentai at its core. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You know, like the Big Bad Beetleborgs, all that shit.
Hell yeah, bro.
And VR Troopers, you know, like we were talking about before, all the color-coded heroes in the 90s, you know?
Yeah, that was fun. It caught your eye, right? And it sold toys.
Yes, the toys.
That was the major thing back in the 90s and 80s is that everything had to sell toys, right? So Keaton's Batman. So I had the fucking Batmobile. I had it.
I had the Batwing.
I
had the Batwing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I remember running around my house in the late 90s or mid 90s, running around my house with a Batwing. Just like,
that's fucking tight. Hell yeah. I had his fucking, it was literally a thing of Keaton, like a little thing. And he had his fucking Batmobile. And I thought it was the tightest shit in the world. And you can literally press a button and the thing came up or something like that.
And the big thing with our toys in the 90s is they fired plastic rockets. And then you lost them. And then you lost them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But I had all the mighty Power Rangers. I had all of them. I had Pink Ranger, Yellow Ranger, Blue Ranger, Red Ranger, Green Ranger. I had the White Ranger.
Well, my adult goal is to have all the helmets.
Yeah.
Not like the Halloween helmets I have over here. I want the helmets.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, and I've looked at them. They're about $300 a piece to get a decent one.
Yeah.
So and then after JDF's passing, the green and white are
sky high.
Looking like at $1,000 for
hands down
for a good one.
Mm-hmm. So this is kind of we're kind of getting off topic here, but this is all pop culture, man. So it's all. So I remember, and a lot of people can go like, "Oh, that movie sucked." To me, you can't tell me that because it just didn't. The Godzilla movie came out, right? And this is the one where At the end, you find out that Godzilla had babies,
Oh,
right? And so, like, I fucking to this day, I
Matthew
can't
Broderick.
argue it with me. I will choose that Godzilla over any Godzilla because just that's what I grew up off. I love that shit, right? Yeah, and this dude was the scientist and the weird little worm
Matthew
thing.
Broderick, yeah.
Yep. Well, I had a piggy bank that it was New York City, and you had that Godzilla like this, right? And it was roaring, and it had a thing where you put the quarter, and it goes down. When it goes down like this, it goes.
That's so badass.
And like I wish, and I'm like trying to find it again. I tried to find it again, right? And so this was years ago. I mean, years ago. This was 2000s. It was years ago. If I can get that back, man, I would love that shit. That shit is so fucking cool. But the point is, back then we had so much really cool things happening. You had the Star Wars stuff going on at its prime. I would say like so that was around the reboot time where we got young Obi and young Anakin because that was 2000s, which was a massive success. Very cool. I love the introduction of Jar Jar Banks and all those people.
Yeah, dude.
All the toys was the major thing, is what I'm saying.
Because they don't. It's not the same. It's, with the toy like He-Man. He-Man was a toy line before it was a cartoon.
Yeah.
So it's not done the same anymore. Like Transformers was a toy line before it was a cartoon.
Man, I remember this. I remember when Beast Wars was on cartoons.
Beast Wars.
And McDonald's or Burger King. I could be wrong about either one. I'm pretty sure it's one or the other. Their toys was the Beast War toys.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah. So they had the rat one that transformed.
Rat Trap.
I had Rat Trap. And you could get them from the McDonald's toys. Dude, I remember all this shit like it was yesterday.
Well, then they're doing the new movie.
I know. Oh my god!
That's like Optimus Primal, man. I cannot wait to see Optimus. Like
you know what?
My favorite was Rhinox.
Hell yeah!
Dude, Rhinox was a gangster. And
Hell yeah.
Cheetor was pretty badass too.
I watched the trailer and I almost I'm being honest. I almost got tears, bro.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Because I watched the Beast Wars growing up. I watched it and I was like, holy shit! When they do it in a
Beast
way,
Wars was so good.
it was retarded.
It was just so good.
It was so good, man.
There was Scorponok and what was the tarantula guy? Tarantulas.
Yeah. They had so much. It was fire, bro. And then when I seen this new trailer, I said, wow.
Yeah.
Way to take it, like, and they didn't go completely left with. So my biggest issue with the designs of Transformers that were filmed by Michael Bay was he went so left with the actual design, the source material. He went so left with it. They don't look exactly how they should.
No.
Only when they rebooted it, and it wasn't Michael Bay, when they rebooted the series with Bumblebee, that wasn't Michael Bay. This is picking off Bumblebee's thing. And I was like, damn. And then the fucking war on Cybertron. Did you see the scene with Bumblebee?
I did.
Everybody looked exactly the way they should have. So I was like, even Optimus Prime looked like Optimus Prime. And I was like, yes. This is my robot.
This is Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime. I can't do this. I'm going to do it.
I can a little bit. Well,
the world is in your hands.
And then we got the option for fucking Thundercats eventually.
It just better be done right.
Who other than John Cena, who would be a good live action lion now?
Oh, Vin Diesel.
Okay, I'm behind that. Well, John Cena would be good as Panthro.
I'm with that. The only thing is, I think sometimes when they take source material that's very sci-fi and they try to make it look good, they go too much with the realistic route.
Right. You don't need that with Thundercats.
Meet in the middle.
You don't need that with Thundercats.
Yeah, meet somewhat in the middle. And we don't need heavy CGI too. Do some practical effects and mix it in with some CGI too.
See, Thundercats would benefit from practical effects.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Especially just like the
frills
fur and just how things would look a little bit more realistic than CGI.
Yeah. Because I used to always love Panthro, Cheetara.
Yeah.
Dude, Cheetara live action would be badass, bro.
Yeah.
Like a good Cheetara, just popped in my head. A good Cheetara would be Rihanna.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
You think so?
Yeah.
If anybody pops up in there, I was actually gonna say Zoe. What's her name?
Deschanel? No.
No, the one who plays Gamora.
What is her name?
I forget her name.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, I would. The one who plays Colombiana. It's the same actress.
Yeah.
What the hell is her name? Well, anyways, I think she would be good in that role.
Oh,
so
yeah, absolutely.
she also plays in Avatar. She's one
Oh,
of the-
that's her.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
her.
yeah.
Okay.
She's an awesome actress too.
She'd be good as Chitara.
Yeah. How much people want to see more throwback things?
Like cartoon adaptations.
Yeah, become live action. We would love to hear that.
I would like to see a good Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, man. Do you remember like the 2000 ones?
Yeah, with Matthew Broderick, which we throw back to what we were just talking about with Godzilla.
Yep, he was in Godzilla. Hell yeah.
So I think we kind of covered our bases. We went from John Rambo to Power Ranger.
Yeah, exactly. To Thundercats. So it's been a good episode, you guys.
Yeah, we'll figure out getting you guys on the show here in the next one or two. So.
All right, you guys take care of yourselves. Thank you guys for listening. Follow us on Facebook.
Yes, definitely interact on the Facebook because that's where you can find us the most and like interact with us.
Yeah, and then we'll be doing a live thing on Facebook, stuff like that. We want to talk to you guys. We want to get to know our fan base a little bit more. Our family. You guys are a Comic Crook family, and we would like to get to know our crooks. Yeah. So. Show love, man. We love y'all. Thank you guys for everything. Take care of one another. Never stop talking about pop culture.
And let us know if you guys ever want to be part of the show. So,
absolutely, man.
Yeah, so we might not, like I said, the issue we had was Facebook Live, but we can always talk to you over Zoom or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, hit us up if you guys are as part of the show as much as we are. So,
yes, sir. And on that note, take it easy.
All right, hit the stop button.